Hey, everybody. Brian Lovig, I got a guest today, Joe Gelet. And hey, Joe, how are you doing?
Great. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine. So I just came north of from California yesterday. I'm in Kelowna, British Columbia, and I think you're in New York City or thereabouts. Where are you?
I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee, in the mountains.
Oh, I was a way out. Anyway, nice to see you. The power of the internet, and here we are. Now, you are the investment banker for Gab. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about Gab. What is Gab?
Gab is an alternative social media platform, and they call themselves a free speech platform. But Gab actually has a lot of other things. They have Gab TV, they have Gab Marketplace. So they have a whole kind of parallel economy that they're building. They have a payment system. So it's a pretty cool thing.
They started when? I believe it was 2017. Am I right?
Yeah, around there. And it was really small to start. It was started by a guy from Pennsylvania named Andrew Torba, and it just grew from there.
Now, we joined, I think you guys started in March or April or some such, and we actually joined, we being rightedition.com, we joined, I believe, in July of 2017. So we've been with you guys a long time. So using your platform and so on. So we quite enjoy it. Tell me a little bit more. So you started then, and the purpose was to have a voice because you were tired, or Andrew didn't like being unvoiced, not allowed to voice his opinion. Is that what it was about? Why
Yeah.
did get?
Yeah, basically the big Twitter, Facebook, the big platforms, they start censoring you based on your political beliefs or based on a lot of things. And he is a very vocal conservative and a Christian, and he's targeted by some of these censors that his posts will be banned, he'll be shadow banned, and it's frustrating because you can't put any content. Every time you post something that you get banned. So he founded his own social network, and it became obviously popular because of a lot of his friends and people with a similar were in a similar problem, and so people flocked to Gab, and now they've grown into a pretty diverse community. It's pretty big.
How big?
It's less than 10 million people. It's about 6.5, 7 million.
Okay. That's pretty good, and it's growing. And to keep up with the growth, what have you guys done? Like you as the investment banker, have you gone out to venture capital? I'm talking financial stuff here. It costs a lot of money to do stuff like this. So what have you done, and what are you doing now financially? Is it a public company? Is it going to be a public company? That kind of stuff. Tell me.
Well, Gab basically needs money to grow. So that's why they hired us. That's how they're introduced to us. But they wanted to do it kind of outside of Wall Street, in a sense. In other words, because some of the big tech censors are some of the same people that are monopolies of Wall Street. So I've always specialized in sort of disruptive, alternative companies. And so I met Andrew, and so they need capital to get computers, to hire people, to just expand, just common growth capital. And so, but he wanted to do an offering directly to his customers. So we created a crowdfunding platform, really just for Gab. And that allows any investor, you don't have to be accredited to invest. You can invest $330 is the minimum. And Gab wanted to make that bond with their users because they support Gab, and this is a way because they need the capital to grow. And Gab, the shareholders who invest in this will be shareholders, and they will own a piece of Gab, so they'll be a part of it.
So for $330, a person can become a shareholder?
Right, correct.
That's pretty good. And what does the future look like in terms of being a shareholder, in terms of liquidity and all of that stuff? Like, will the company be public someday?
Whether it's public or not, there probably will be a liquidity event. So I would say yes. It might not be for a couple of years, so investors should be patient. But that's how private investing works. It's no different with any private company. There's some big private companies, like Epic Games was founded in the 90s, and it's still private. It's Unreal Tournament. So there's some huge companies that are private. So there's nothing wrong with being private. They just,
Definitely not. I agree.
yeah. So if they stay private, they'll just have an event that investors can sell. But there's options to going public that are other than IPO that, so it'll happen. It just, everyone should be patient.
How's the response been from people with the crowdfunding?
It's been overwhelming. We had when we first announced it, there was such a flood of activity, it crashed the site. We had to upgrade our servers, and the Gabs, I didn't see this side of Gab until we launched the crowdfund, but Gab has very loyal and passionate users, and it's a diverse group. We have all different kinds of people, ranging from farmers to doctors to just all kinds of different people. And so it's been amazing to see that support.
What's the breakdown politically? Like, how many of them are Republicans and how many are Democrats?
Well, you know what's interesting? The content of Gab was an issue for the broker-dealer, and we have to just turn over every rock when we're researching a company. And the amount of political content on Gab is actually very low. I mean, if you look at all the content on Gab, the political content is really a small minority. Mostly it's just about hunting, farming, gardening, stuff like that, like pets, family stuff. There's a lot of Christian groups, Bible study, stuff like that. The overwhelming majority are either Republican or right, like libertarian. But there's Democrat groups on Gab, and there are Democrats on Gab. There's all different, so it's mostly conservative, but it's not like 100%. And it's not a conservative site. It's just that's.
Well, I'm glad to know that. I'll start to channel some of my programs now towards conversion of those Democrats that are actually on the site. We want them to kind of move over to the right. So yeah. I'll work on that. Okay. So there you go. You work on getting money from people. I'll work on converting all the people that come. It's kind of like being a preacher. I want my church full of atheists so I can kind of do my work. Okay. So anyway, I'll do that. So tell me about the money raising. So let's say I want to invest, and I do. I want to become a stockholder of Gab. Give me the pitch. I kind of think you have already, but if there's anything else, tell me what I have to do. Do I sign papers? Do I have to go to an attorney or a notary? What do I have to do? Do I just wire you money? How do I pay you? What happens?
So you have to go to the website portal. It's Venture Capital Cross. It's vccross.com. And then
Cross as in CROSS?
Yes, vccross.com.
Okay.
You go to the website, you see Gab, you click on Gab, you click Invest Now, and there's a process. It's kind of like opening an account. It has to be done online. There's no paper application, so you just go through the process. It'll ask you to put in your photo ID, social security, just like if you're opening a stock account. If you want to buy Apple stock, you have to open an account first. So from that perspective, it's just like opening an account. And then you decide on the funding method. You can fund by wire payment, check, or e-check, and fund it. And then that's it.
Now, is this just for the American citizens, or what countries are allowed to do this? Where are you clear? What countries?
It can be any country as long as it's not on the, like it can't be from North Korea, Iraq, countries like that. But we have people from Australia, Germany who've already invested, Canada, pretty much most countries can invest.
So it's kind of like, I wish I would have done this when Apple did this many years ago, right? So, and here's an opportunity to get involved in a major platform. You'll soon be at 10 million users. So it's kind of got some appeal. I get all that. So tell me about you. How long have you been in this business?
I've been doing venture capital for about 5 years, but I've been in the financial business since like 1998. I started trading stocks, and I traded currencies for 20 years, and I kind of got regulated out of a job. And so I got into private equity, and it's a great business because we deal with all these startups, and I'm an entrepreneur myself. And that's where all the action happens in the economy is in startups.
I believe you've just written a book, or you are writing a book or something. Tell me about that.
It's basically all my secrets I wanted to give to people.
So they won't be secrets anymore.
Oh, you can't even see it with the screen. It's called the Investor's Guide to Legal Insider Trading. And it's just a bunch of tips and strategies I use for our business. And also, like with Gab, I get really basic questions like what is investing, what is private equity. So I put everything in the book. And I'm also making a course that's going to be free to everyone. That'll be maybe in a couple weeks ready. Because it's a great market, and I invest in it myself. Last year, I invested in like 20 different startups.
Okay.
And it's risky, you know, maybe you'll lose, but maybe you'll invest in the next Google. So, I mean, you know, like they say, if you want to win the lottery, you have to buy a ticket. You know,
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, if you want to make a, you know, hit the net, you got to shoot the park, blah, blah. So how old are you?
42.
I got to know everything, you see. So you have been around a long enough time to kind of get all this stuff. Well, that's good stuff. And in terms of your book, that's on your website, I'm guessing, the Venture Capital Cross.
Yeah.
Okay. So all these people are buying, you're getting lots of that, lots of investing. I'm going to invest, and I'll go onto your thing and see if I can. I'm old. I ain't 42. So we'll see if I'm able to figure it out. If not, at least I know your number. I can call for help, right? So Gab is it's exciting, and I'm really pleased, and I'm looking forward to speaking to Andrew. We're going to have him on the show. I want to know a bunch of things about where he's going and you know why he's done it. You've touched on that, and I understand it. But freedom is so important, and big tech companies today, they don't want us to have that. And so Gab lets us have that. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, it basically, ever since Trump got in office, I mean, censorship has always been around, but it seemed like in 2015, something changed, and it became just like Russia.
It really has. I mean, my show, rightedition.com, we're now on Truth Social, and I'm with my people. And also with Gab, I'm with my people, and it makes me feel fine. Whereas when the YouTubes and all the other things, you got to kind of watch who's your people, right? But because everybody's coming up and reminding you that you ain't our people. Anyway, I get all that. Joe, it's a pleasure, and look forward to talking to you again. And any of you people that want an investment in a company like this, I almost said startup. It's not. It's been around since 2017. It's kind of already, the model's already there, and now they're looking to make it bigger and better. And of course, talk is cheap. It takes money to buy whiskey, and you need more money. And I get all that. So people like myself and others will help, and it'd be kind of fun to be a stockholder. So Joe, thanks for what you do.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Talk to you. See you.